Well, we finally got our power back today, day 9 of no power here in Marietta, South Carolina. So we are grateful to get that back finally. And I am trying to just put together a video and footage of everything I've seen in the past week here in northern Greenville County. Just to sort of show the effects of Helene and the amount of damage in this area that, is more than I've ever seen in my lifetime. But I would like to preface my video by saying it's nothing compared to what just, half an hour, 45 minutes away is catastrophic damage in western North Carolina. So even though things are sort of getting back to normal a little bit in this area, we're still going to be dealing with a lot of huge inconveniences, a lot of bridge closures due to compromised bridges, which I'll show in some of the footage. But again, just wanted to point out it's nothing compared to North Carolina, where they have no bridges. Most of their bridges got, washed away or just missing parts. So there are a lot of people in this area that did have severe damage, and they are dealing with a lot of things as far as house damage, having to deal with that huge issue. But I think for the most part, most people in this area are dealing with pretty large inconveniences, where in North Carolina they're dealing with daily survival. Their issues are survival, water, food, shelter, getting out of trapped mountain communities. So I am just going to show what I have seen, because this is where I live, and this is the footage that I have gotten. But I don't by any means want to take away from what is truly devastating just up the mountain from here. And most of our state parks, especially the ones located along the Blue Ridge Escarpment, are still closed. They had just hundreds of trees come down. Most are still without power. So getting, reports from those places as well, that they are dealing with a lot. And I know the Blue Ridge Parkway is closed indefinitely as well, due to catastrophic damage to certain parts of the Blue Ridge Parkway also. So I think a lot of people are just bummed to hear about so many places that make this part of the country so beautiful and so special, that they have been destroyed or damaged as well. And unfortunately for western North Carolina, it's about to be fall season and peak leaf season, and they're not going to have near the tourism that they normally get this time of year, nor could they probably handle it even if those places were open. So it's just all around overwhelming, and I think a lot of people here locally, and I'm certain North Carolina, just physically and mentally exhausted, and just trying to process everything that's happened, and deal with these unusually high levels of stress and grief for what our region has suffered under Helene. So I just want to say, hang in there to all my North Carolina neighbors, and South Carolina neighbors for that matter, still struggling. And, prayers for those that lost a loved one. And, if you know somebody that needs something, please let me or one of our local organizations know. had another tree go down across the driveway. I heard it. I just heard it cracking. These gusts are really bad. River's coming up more and more. Alright, got our driveway back. This was all underwater. You can see the mud line on the bank, how high the river went. Just crazy. That's where the river is right there. Gonna be cleaning up a lot of trash for a while. But we got some lines down right here. But they're still down out on the road as well. Here's the river, almost back to normal, still running high. But I mean, it was over both banks. Well, bad news. They have closed the bridge over Gear Highway over Middle Saluda River. They closed it this morning, saying it's unsafe to cross. So I mean, dude, do you know how long it's gonna take to clean all this up? It's like the camera just doesn't show it. That's a big tree. Man.
I think that's where the water fountain was.
I don't know, I think it's a little higher up.
If you would have came back and told me about this,
Yeah.
I would have been thinking you're exaggerating.
Yeah. Well, now we know why Dan and Allison couldn't get out. They posted that Taz said he is canceling all shuttles, no questions asked. Because there's people that are like, oh, well, I don't want to change my plans, you know, and I'll just walk around the tree. And it's like, no, y'all, you don't understand. The Foothills Trail is buried under thousands of huge trees right now. You know, like, I mean, I'm guessing. Well, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, look, if it looks like this right here, what do you think the Foothills Trail looks like, right? So they're asking for volunteers to help with the cleanup and the cut trees for the next several weeks.
Okay. Hold that too.
Holy moly. They already got the tree removed though. Super. Oh, I love that oak tree in her yard. That was the prettiest, perfect oak tree. Oh man. I drove by that tree every day. Golly, holy moly. Golly. It got their porch, well, it got part of the house too. I was gonna say the porch took the worst of it, but yeah, I was telling Dad, I saw Jerry's video of all this. They lost a lot right here in this kind of open part of Freeman Bridge right here. I mean, they lost a big one. I gotta call my buddy, lives down the road. She's the next lot down. That's her in-laws' house. So I hope they're okay. I mean, kind of caught the corner, so hopefully everybody's all right.
We were so lucky that just the corner and the corner over the screen porch.
How the a lot of the people in the neighborhood had to cut a lot. My friend that works with me that lives in this neighborhood, so they were basically effectively trapped in their neighborhood, and just all the guys had to get together and start chainsawing to get some of the roads out of the neighborhood open. Got hit, but a complete line power pole down right there. Hard to tell in the video how big that is. I mean, there's the root ball. You can't even see that side of their house because it's buried. I don't think I can get through here. They're up there cutting. This is bad. Their driveway is buried. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn around. They still haven't cut through. Oh. But they're up there trying to get through. Well, don't cut through Coleman Heights and Travelers Rest. Well, I was hoping to get over on Alta Vista, but that ain't happening either. So, they're completely buried up here. Because there's more trees past this one, you just can't tell. Yeah, there goes their camper. Well, not going down this road. Oh, wow. What a mess. Those are huge trees, too. All right. Guess they haven't made it down Circle Drive yet. So here's the washout on Tougaloo. Good Lord. Wow. It's, oh man. I mean, look how big that culvert is. I mean, I could stand inside of that. You can't tell how big it is until you see it. I mean, that gap is probably 15, 20 feet wide. All from this creek flooding. That is crazy. How much water came through here. I mean, this is only a mile or two from my road and my house. Won't be coming down Tougaloo for a long time. This is a big bridge they've closed on Dacusville Road. This is the Greenville-Pickens County line. And our main, this is Highway 186 that runs in between Marietta and Dacusville. And they have closed this down from flood damage from Helene. This is a very big bridge. I can't believe that this got that much damage. That river must have been really high. just trying to see what does DOT see that's so bad. I think there must have been like maybe a like mudslide, landslide type thing right here. So maybe it's this end, the Pickens County side, the Greenville County side looks okay to me. Of course, I mean, I'm not a civil engineer. Something happened right here. Like the bank has shifted. I mean, you can tell this has slid down. So oh, okay. Well, that must be the biggest, maybe that's the biggest concern right there. Just the landslide, mudslide, and erosion undercut. So the bridge and highway's undercut right there on the Pickens County side. So all of this just slid away down into the river. Oh, great. I mean, there's no real detour for this either. I mean, that's the problem. There's no bridge north or south of here for a long way on this part of the river. Okay, so that's why they have the cones and tape right there, is they know that is all undercut and probably unstable on some level. Kind of wish they'd keep this lane open. If it's okay over here. But, oh well. Maybe it's undercut over here too, I don't know. All that was underwater. That's how high that water was. All of that was underwater, and no huge surprise, Freeman Bridge is also closed. Oh man, shoot. I didn't know this one was closed. I just thought I'd come check it out, but all right, I'm on Freeman Bridge Road. You can see all of that was flooded. All of that, it's probably kudzu, is just silt colored because it was all underwater from the Saluda River. So no huge shocker with the bridge closures we've already had all over North Greenville County. Freeman Bridge is closed also as of October 5th. So we are going to be doing a lot of detours and workarounds for months to come up here in northern Greenville County. so river came up to there, at least. Just checking out Freeman Bridge over the Saluda River on Freeman Bridge Road, near Dacusville. And this is kind of a lower bridge anyway. I haven't seen actual footage of the flooding other than someone videoed the road on the other side flooding all of the floodplain over there, but I don't know if you can tell that under the bridge right there is debris. There's a lot of branches and sticks crammed underneath. So the river came up at least that high, which, I mean, that's probably at least 15 feet high or more right there. And then I'm wondering if it came up that high, I'm wondering if it actually ran over the bridge or not. But all that to say, this bridge is closed, and I'm not really sure what is structurally unsound just looking at it with, civilian eyes, but obviously something has worried them enough to close this bridge down as well. I can't believe that river was this high. All right, I came back over here on the Greenville County side of Freeman Bridge, because over there on the Pickens side, I couldn't see a whole lot, but I think this is probably the culprit. I couldn't see it from over there, but you got a big washout with the undercut. And that is probably why they closed this bridge down. So I guess there used to be a concrete wall right there that fell and washed away, and then the dirt underneath it. So maybe they could fix that fairly quickly. I don't know. Fingers crossed. And then again, there's the debris that I can see trapped under the bridge to show you how high the floodwater came. So I know it came at least that high. Probably higher if I had to guess, but debris right there. So this is what's so devastating about the trees that did come down. They're just so big, they took out a bunch of other trees with them. It's hard to see in the video, but there's a giant root ball right there that belongs to a huge white oak that then proceeded to take out another tree whose root ball's there, took out a big southern red oak with it. So it's just like you have these clusters of just hardwoods that all came down, and there's this gap in the canopy that there's sky that shouldn't be there. There's just these huge areas now of visible blue sky where before there was no blue sky because it was all tree canopy. So there's these just huge areas like this, all in the woods across upstate South Carolina and of course North Carolina as well, western North Carolina. So I know Table Rock State Park, which is only half an hour from here, they are closed indefinitely until they can get get power back and then get a lot of trees cleared. But their main trail up Table Rock Trail apparently has, that they know of, at least 300 trees down on it. So just kind of shows what we are dealing with as far as tree fall like we've never seen before. Here's a pretty bad jumble. You got hickory tree, I think maybe, yeah, a huge hickory tree, which took down a pretty decent sized pine tree. And then took something else out. Or either that's just another blowdown, but it's another pretty good sized hardwood right there, I think. Unless that's another pine tree, I can't tell from here. But I mean, that's a huge hickory tree that came down. Okay, here is another hillside that got pretty devastated from tree fall. That one, that's a big tree. It's being held up by some other trees, but I don't know if it'll make it or not. Here's the giant hole in the canopy that I was talking about. A bunch of sky where there shouldn't be because of all the hardwoods that came down. And there's a whole nother huge group of hardwoods that came down over here. It's like so many, it's hard to even tell what's really going on. There's a view of that tree that I think it's a hickory. I think it's a big hickory tree just being held up by a bunch of other hardwoods. So here's, let's see, one, two, three huge hardwoods that all came down. Sort of on top of each other. There's a little creek that I was talking about. That's an old tree that's been there, so these are all new. That's a huge hickory that fell across the valley, and I think probably took some of these others out with it, unless they just all blew over at the same time. You can see this oak tree got taken down with it. So it's just, and you know, tree falls like this are just everywhere across upstate South Carolina. And then there's that huge open space in the tree canopy. That used to be trees, now sky. Here's another huge hickory tree that came down. It's hard to show how big it is, but it's a big one. And I mean, remained perfectly healthy. It just, you know, couldn't handle the wind. And it's still got all its leaves. Leaves haven't dropped here yet for fall. So all the trees with big leaf canopies just caught that wind and went down.